Welcome everybody to another Tuesday night here at Catamount Racing Network. I'm your host Chris. With me tonight, Rick Hammond Jr. Rick, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing fabulous, Chris. Welcome, race fans. Welcome to you, buddy. Happy Tuesday. Here we are, the Roseanne 150, buddy.
Yeah, and a lot to talk about, and we're going to start it off very simply by saying this series has a new series sponsor, and we're going to bring it up right now. If you couldn't guess by the very obvious logo that was on the screen before, the Hershy Design Company coming on board, and want to thank them, and really excited actually to have that happening for us. Rick, I know you've been talking to them quite a bit. Why don't you go ahead and let everybody know what they're about?
Yeah, I definitely want to welcome the Hershy Design Company here, Chris. They signed on as a title sponsor for the whole season for our Tuesday night racing here for Racing for a Cause and Catamount Racing Network. Over there at Hershy Design, Ryan does logo design, which is all custom. He does sim racing paint schemes. He'll do pretty much anything that you need for graphics. He also does t-shirts. So that's kind of cool. You know, you can have a design, logo design for you. Maybe get it on some t-shirts. So I think that's pretty cool, man. I definitely want to welcome them, and this is going to be a great partnership, I believe.
Yeah, I think you're right. And Mr. Gibbs, welcome. How you doing on this fine Tuesday night? I'm doing great. Just so you know, I'm going to put it out there. Rick and I are both doing great, and I'll tell you why. Because there's a big nor'easter coming up, and we live up in the Northeast, if you don't know. So big nor'easter coming up, and it's going to be dumping a huge amount of snow. And guess how much Rick and I are going to get out of it? Zero. Nada. Nothing. So if that wasn't reason enough to celebrate, hey, we're also getting a chance to watch some of these cars from Racing for a Cause go around the track. Pretty cool. We got a couple of new names out there still. I mean, they just keep rolling in, guys. This is awesome. I can't thank all the drivers here enough for coming out, participating with us every week, and enjoying in on some of the fun. It's really been a blast so far. Hey, tonight is the last race for a couple weeks. Drivers get to go out and test some for the next couple weeks, because we do follow the actual Xfinity Series schedule. That means we have the next couple of weeks off. And you know what, Rick? I'm going to take that time and do some driving of my own.
Chris, I think I'm pretty much going to be doing the same thing. I mean, there's some other things here that we need to, that I need to personally work on for Catamount Racing Network and stuff like that. But like you said, we're off March 27th, April 3rd. We're going to be coming back on April 10th for some Texas Motor Speedway, man. That's going to be awesome. I'm looking forward to that. So I can't wait. Breaks are nice. It's kind of cool how we're following the actual real life racing schedule. So it's going to give these drivers a little bit of time. And that we're going to be throwing some fun races up, at Racing for a Cause too. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it should be great. And really, again, looking forward to doing all of that in the next couple of weeks. But first, we have to get through the race tonight here at Auto Club, the Roseanne 150. And let's see, we'll bring it up. There it is. The Hershy Design Company presents the Roseanne 150 here at Auto Club Speedway. And again, I can't thank them enough for coming on board with us as a series sponsor. We really do appreciate it. Guys, we're about almost 8 minutes away from getting this qualifying effort going. Lots of names out there, like I said, new names, old names. It's going to be pretty fun to watch, and that's going to be right around the corner. So what we're going to do is just step away for a little bit, and I'll keep bringing the action to you here, but we're going to kick on some music just to kind of pass a little time. We'll be right back. All right, well, that last song can only mean one thing. We're minutes away from getting ready for the action here tonight. The Roseanne 150. Oh, my Lord, I can't believe I'm saying that. The Roseanne 150 brought to you tonight by the Hershy Designs. Oh, my Lord, Rick. Roseanne 150. This is what NASCAR and Xfinity are coming to. The Roseanne 150 here at Auto Club. Ladies and gentlemen, we're getting ready to go. A lot of drivers out there. I'm seeing 34, if they all take the start, 34 racers in server getting ready to go. And man, it's going to be fun.
Yeah, the really funny thing is, Chris, is that they actually, NASCAR decided at the last minute to change the actual real life race to that name. It was actually the Roseanne 300 because Roseanne's coming back on TV. Right before that, it was the Service King 300. But I don't know, Service King 300 or Roseanne 300?
I don't know. I mean, I'm all for the Roseanne show. I actually remember watching it when I was younger. To me, there was some value to that show as a working class family that I grew up in, but I don't know.
Let's be honest. No. We got to be honest here for a minute. We got a minute 30 before qualifying starts. So, you only liked Roseanne because Dan was a Chicago Bears fan, is that correct?
The Bears.
The Bears. And also, if they have Becky on the show, she better not change her appearance like 110% halfway through. I'm just saying.
That's true. Yeah, I didn't even think about that. That's funny though.
But listen, Chris, man, we're getting ready. I mean, we're down here in Auto Club, which used to be called, I think it was like the California Speedway. Now it's Botana, whatever. It's all our Auto Club. I'm pretty excited, man. I mean, we're here. We're in the booth. It's Tuesday. We're going to miss the snow. We got 122,000 fans out there in the stands. We're getting ready to watch these guys of the Hershy Design Series take the track and do it. You and I did a little bit of practice there last night there. What did you think about the track?
Well, it was very interesting. What I think is there's plenty of grip. There's no problem with the grip. In fact, if you don't hit your marks, your car will be tight. You're going to end up going towards the wall. That could be a problem coming out of 2. I definitely see issues in 2 more than I do in 4. 4, what you want to do, kind of skirt that apron, just touch the apron. You just saw the car do it right there. Touch that apron, it'll bring the rear of the car around. Hopefully not quite like Rick Greenaway in the 69 did there, but it'll help bring the car around and get you ready for the front stretch. The back stretch, like I said, coming off from 2, very difficult. If you hit your lines wrong, you'll miss. You'll end up hitting the wall, and that will end your night here pretty quick.
It definitely will. Now, usually here at Racing for a Cause, we have one fast repair on super speedways. But this isn't really considered a super speedway. It is a 2-mile track. We're talking about the banking. In the turns, it's 14 degrees. On the front stretch, you only get 11, but on that back stretch, it's only 3%. So you're absolutely right. Definitely turns 2 is going to be the place to watch tonight. That's when the cautions do happen, and I'm sure they probably will later on in the race. The tires seem to go away after about 10-15 laps is what I noticed in practice last night, if you race it hard and try to keep that bottom line. But what's cool about Auto Club is you can get guys who are going to run the bottom, like the Kevin Harvicks. You're going to get the guys who want to be right up against the wall. I'm not sure if we're going to see that tonight. It is a little difficult unless you're in VR here in iRacing. But, you might see those guys that are just doing the Kyle Larson sitting up against the wall. Then you might get the guys that want to go into the middle and do what they have to do. But qualifying is underway, bud. Who are you watching right now?
Well, right now we got my eyes peeled on the 72 car, Ryan Wilson, just now starting his first lap. A couple of other cars are out there on track starting to get up to speed, and we're definitely going to take a look at a couple others, and boom, just like that, switched over to Peyton Johnson. Peyton in the 85 car, looking pretty good out there so far, Rick.
Oh, it definitely is. He just tapped the wall there, Chris, a little bit, so that's going to hurt his qualifying. But right now, one thing I do want to mention, too, before we get really far underway, is we lock our fields at 36 here for the Xfinity, kind of like what the real guys do in the real life. Right now, if every car that has shown up for practice, Chris, shows up on the track for the green flag, we're going to have 35 cars.
That right there is awesome.
But that is awesome.
We've got, let's see, a couple of cars out there already. Look at that. Look who's on top of the leaderboard so far. Katie. The 88 Chevy out front. Beautiful lap he laid down. Lots of guys out there still.
There definitely are still out there, Chris, doing their final laps there. KD right now is still, we should just say, Kenneth Dale Osmond, because I remember how to say your name, buddy. There you go. 88 car. I love that car. It's a beautiful car. And right now he is at the pole. He is running a pretty good lap right there, Chris, a 40.540, which is what I noticed a lot last night in practice. So he's definitely right there with these guys. Right now it looks like we have 25 drivers that have taken time. So interesting to see how this all pans out. But right now KD and that number 88 is hanging on to that pole.
Yeah, a couple of guys I want to keep my eye on tonight. AJ Hamill. AJ's been practicing. I heard it through the grapevine. AJ was practicing earlier, and he says he has a pretty good car. Looking for a good solid top 3 out of that. Troy Radford right now obviously on top of the leaderboard. Troy looking to have a very good night. Wouldn't be lying if I said his points didn't need it, because they certainly do. Between missing a race and not having the best luck at Daytona, Troy would love to have a very good points night tonight. And I want to keep an eye out on two others. The number 70 car, Andy Lambert. Andy was practicing last night, and I think for the first time, maybe ever, Andy was actually faster than me on what we'll call a cookie cutter track. So Andy has been really working, trying to get better at these tracks, and congratulations to him for that. It's not easy. You think going straight and turning left is easy. I challenge you to try it. It's not as easy as it looks, and these guys definitely make it look easy.
Oh, you're absolutely right, Chris. As you said, Troy Rapper, that 94, taking over the pole position right now with a lap of 40.519. But you are correct. Andy is not a big cookie cutter track fan. He loves his local short track down here or up here in Vermont, Thunder Road. And that's really what he likes. He likes the late models, but he has been definitely pouring it on hard. So congratulations to him right now. He's sitting in 12th place. I also want to welcome back Thomas Quattlebaum Jr. Tommy Q is back in the 08. It's good to have him here with us again at Racing for a Cause. And I also want to throw out a big shout out to checkdon'tguess.org and Drive for Diabetes Awareness. Right? I believe is it Cool? How do you say his last name?
I think it is. You know, I should have asked him earlier, and I didn't. That's going to come with another announcement a little bit later on in the broadcast. But yeah, I think it is just Cool. But watch for that number 4 car. Brent's first time driving with us here. AJ and I did something earlier in regards to it, and Brent got a chance to drive with a couple of us, and he really dug it. He dug it so much he decided he was going to try and race with us tonight, and maybe a few other times this season. So good on him. And Rick, just like that, buddy, we are gritting.
Just like that, you are correct, buddy. So, but definitely welcome to Brent, longtime supporter, first-time racer. So it's definitely going to be fun to watch him. But here we are. The cars are starting to light up on the grid, Chris. Right now, it looks like for the Racing for a Cause pole award, it is going to be Troy Radford in the number 94. Next to him, sitting in second position, is going to be KD Osmond in the 88. Third place, Chris Mefford in the 46. Chris Berg in the 01 is starting 4th. We have Armando Ortiz, Big Papi himself, in that number 25, starting 5th. AJ Rogers in the 17 will be starting 6th. We have Bobby Sumners in the 23, starting 7th, with Sean Cool in the 24, sitting in a nice cool 8th place right now. We got Brent Cool, the 04. We just talked about him. He's going to be starting 9th. Timothy Hale, Mr. Tim Hale in the 00. He is starting 10th. Going back to 11th, we got Justin McDuff in the 20. 12th is AJ Hamill, the Green Mountain Madman, in 18. So he's starting 12th. We got Andy Lambert, who poured it on, qualified 13th in the 70 machine. We have Tommy Q in the 08, starting 14th. We have Greg Willis in the 28, starting 15th. We have Peyton Johnson in the 85, starting 16th. We have David Roach in the 09, starting 17th. John Johnson in that 22 machine is starting 18th. We got Aaron Tolhurst starting 19th, and rounding up top 20 is our good international friend Phil Otto. The number 66 qualifies 20th. Doug Wysocki. Doug's one winner so far this season, Chris. In that 45 machine, he is starting 21st. We got James McIntyre Jr. in the 06, starting 22nd. Going back to the next row, Eric Teske in the 99, starting 23rd. Justin Napier in the 56, starting 24th. We got CJ Gates. I believe he is new to the league, so welcome CJ in that 13 machine. He's starting 25th. And we have Greg Myers in the 49, starting 26th. 27th is going to be Vernon M in the 55. He is back, man. Sitting in 27th. Ryan Wilson is in the 72, starting 28th. We got Rick Greenaway in the 69, starting 29th. Hilton Young in the 38, starting 30th. James Edward in the 5, qualified 31st. Jeffrey Clifton, another winner here at Racing for a Cause this season, is starting 32nd, the 15 machine. And that's all I have, my friend.
And that is enough because, my goodness, we are out on track.
They are starting to go, Chris. One cool thing, we're in week 5 here at Racing for a Cause with the now named Hershy Design Series. And we've had 4 different winners, so it's going to be really interesting to see what happens tonight. We had Jeffrey Clifton, who won at Daytona the first race. We had Doug Wysocki, who won over in Atlanta. We got Las Vegas winner, Jerry West. And last week, who we didn't get to talk to over in Phoenix, which was a heck of a ride, is Jeffrey Applegren. And I'm not sure exactly where he is tonight. I was hoping to be able to talk to him, but maybe he's recovering from that win. You never know.
Still celebrating.
Nothing wrong with that. I mean, he won Phoenix, and that was a tough race.
I never did my last shout out. My last shout out was actually for the 00 Timothy Hale. Tim Hale had a heck of a good practice session last night. And I definitely wanted to give props to that because he was all over it. And we are getting ready to go. Green flag racing pace car is in. Oh my Lord. It's going to be one of those. Troy Radford leads him to the green flag. Green flag's out, heading into turn number 1.
Seemed like a little bit of a slow start there, Chris, but that's probably because I'm sitting on the replay. There we go. Now we are live. Boy, KD in that 88, Chris, he's looking on the outside right now. He's not going to be content with just being second, but Troy Radford just pulls up in front. They're going to start getting lined up here, nose to tail in the front, I believe is what's going to happen. These guys are going to want to wear these tires in just a little bit, try to find their line, so that's going to get kind of interesting. But right now, Troy Radford is in first, and KD Osmond is sitting in second.
A thing I definitely noticed in practice last night was the outside line is viable. It takes a little bit to make it work. And then you see KD right there. That's another little trick. If you can get flat on that apron, make that whole front stretch kind of straight, you will pick up a little bit of speed there. Not able to get to the back bumper of the 94, but you do pick up a little bit there.
Yeah, you definitely do. And I think that's what you're going to see, too, as the race goes on, Chris, especially if we get a nice long green flag run, is guys will be up. And there's the first caution.
Caution flag is out. We're going to try and see. Looks like Jerry West was involved, maybe Greg Myers and James Edwards. The 86, the 49, and the 5 car all involved. James Edwards appears to have gotten the worst bit of it as he's got a smoking motor. Time to dig out the hot dogs. That 5 car is on fire.
That's kind of unfortunate, Chris. We're only on lap 3 of 75 here, and that could end his night. Who knows? We'll have to see what happens, but you are correct. Right now, he is barbecuing in that number 9 or in that number 5 car.
Not the start that they wanted for this race, but if we get one now, maybe that's the last one we get of them all. So hey, you never know.
Yeah, Chris, right now the weather's not too bad here. The air temperature is sitting at 67 degrees. The wind speed is 7 miles per hour coming out of the southwest. Humidity, though, is at 93%. So that track is warming up, and I'm not exactly sure how accurate our weather is here, but that's what we're going with. The track temperature, even though that air temperature is cool, the track temperature right now, Chris, is at 92.16 degrees Fahrenheit. So it's definitely slippery.
Yeah, it's definitely going to add a little to it. like you said, 2 mile long track. You do get some drafting off from this. I noticed last night you get it towards the last half of the straightaways, then you can really start pulling it in a little bit. It'll be, yeah, man, I want to get a nice green flag run, and we can really see what this is going to be about. I have a feeling it's going to be a good one. Again, I want to thank everybody. Oh, go ahead, Rick. No. I insist.
That's definitely what's going to happen. These guys definitely want a good long green flag run, Chris, so that way they can figure out what these guys are doing. Like you said, practice last night, there was some drafting going on. You know, it's not quite as crucial as, say, Daytona or Talladega, but it is definitely a factor here at Auto Club Speedway. So these guys got to learn to work together. They got to take their time. But right now, you know, it just takes one little slip up. The cars are all grouped. So we'll see what happens. But I think you're right. I think that is going to happen eventually.
A lot of great looking cars out there with all their causes. I love seeing that. I want to go ahead and thank everybody for coming out, spending some time with us here on a Tuesday night here at Catamount Racing Network. Again, want to thank the Hershy Designs. Oh gosh, well, I'm losing it, Rick, already. The Hershy Design Company for coming out, sponsoring this series. It's been fun so far. I can't wait to see what the rest of the season brings. A lot of racing left to do, as this is what, week 4 out of 39.
We're week 5 right now.
Okay, yeah, correct. See, really gonna be a long one if I keep doing that.
It is going to be long, but it is great here to have Hershy Design Company here with us. If you are watching live here on YouTube at the end or now, you can go down into the description. We have some links there. You can find Hershy Design over on Facebook. He's also on Instagram. Ryan does a really good job. And Chris is going to throw it up right now, actually, in chat too. Does really good work. He actually designed the logo that we have down there on the bottom right-hand side of the screen. So if you're a startup company, you're in need of a logo, or maybe you have a sim race team that you need a logo for, that's the man to go to. He also does that. I'm sure he could do graphical flyers for you if you want. He does regular graphic design, and something that's cool and something that I want to talk to him about eventually is t-shirts, Chris. So you can actually have a logo made and then have it thrown on a t-shirt too. I mean, how cool is that?
Pretty awesome for anybody that's looking for that kind of service. Please do feel free to check him out on Facebook. Hershy Design Company. Pace car lights are off. Troy Radford up front, KD out on the outside, first row. Pace car is getting ready to turn a hard left-hand turn. Troy Radford in control of the field. Let's see when he goes. There he goes. Troy Radford, 94, takes off. Sean Cool looking to try and take advantage of the gap that he left behind. KD stuck on the outside in second. Sean Cool able to take over second place. KD right on his back bumper. Some good action going on a little further back in the pack too. We're going to try and keep an eye on it all. Right now we're looking at the 18 car. AJ Hamill trying to make his way up the pack right now in 8th place. And he's got his sights set on the 7th place in the 23 car, Bobby Summers.
AJ's out there running his special paint scheme there for this season, Chris. It's a beautiful paint job. And you're right, I don't expect to see AJ sit there for too long. He's just going to try to figure out what's going on right now. The cars are just doubled up. They're trying to figure out which lane they want to be in. Some are going low, some are going high. And even last night in practice, I've seen a couple guys going 3 wide. And I know it happened in the official truck race that I was in here, and it wasn't fun, but it was doable.
Keeping an eye on the 09 car, got a little bit tight, and that kind of jammed up the 2 cars behind him. The 09, that's David Roach, and the 70 car, Andy Lambert. Andy falling back to 13th. Oh no, that's about where he started, isn't it? But Peyton Johnson looking to try and take advantage. Andy Lambert stuck on the outside. Peyton Johnson for the spot. goes around the 28 car, now looking to take advantage. That's Gregory Willis.
I know one thing that is on the minds of the drivers that have practiced all week, and I know that there was a bunch of them, Chris, but they were out there, and when you have new tires on this track, you can put that car wherever you want it, kind of like any track, but on this track, it's a little more noticeable. You can sit there and you can run that bottom line, sit right on that white line if you want, for about 6 laps before your tires go away and your car starts pushes up towards the wall. So these guys are just trying to find their lane where they want to go. And that's what's going to happen. But right now, Troy Radford's still sitting in first. We got Sean Cool sitting in second. KD Osmond sitting in third right now, followed by Chris Mefford in fourth. Armando Ortiz in fifth. We got AJ Rogers just moved up into fifth. Armando falls back to sixth, Chris. Right now, AJ Himmel moves up one spot. He's sitting in seventh. Bobby Summers goes down to eighth. Brent Cool in the 04 hanging on to that ninth spot. And Tim Hale in that 00 rounds out the top 10.
Yeah, 11th through 15th, you've got McDuff, Roach, Peyton Johnson, Gregory Willis, and Andy Lambert. Then it's Gates, Wasaki, McIntyre, John Johnson, Al Smith Jr. rounding out your top 20. Up front, though, the 94 car, Troy Radford, under pressure from Sean Cool, the 24, really on the back bumper of Troy Radford, trying to make things happen, trying to find a way around that 94 car. Right behind him, the 88, KD, trying to close in on those two cars, trying to use the draft.
What's kind of interesting, Chris, if you look at those first 4 spots, they're pulling away from the field right now because they are pretty much working together as they come around. You know, they do spread out a little bit because some guys might be better up top, some guys might feel more comfortable on the bottom, but they have a really good gap on the pack there. So that's going to be real interesting to see. Those guys sitting in 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, and all the way back, they need to figure it out, try to get behind them, or get behind each other, and start pushing the catch. Sean Cool takes the lead, though, Chris, in that number 24 machine.
I know why Nightbot was having a problem. Too many lines of text.
That's definitely something that we can work on here, Chris, during our 2 weeks off. Once again, I want to thank all the people out there watching right now. We have a bit of people out there watching, so definitely thank you for coming out to CRN, the Catamount Racing Network, as we host tonight the Racing for a Cause Hershy Design Series here at Auto Club. I want to thank you guys, everybody, for coming out. If you haven't yet, hit that big red subscribe button. Give us a thumbs up on the video. Let us know how we're sounding. You know, chat us up. Gravity Fall Pulse is up there. Welcome. How you doing tonight? Well, we definitely got some work to do, Chris and I. I mean, we are iRacers, or I should say, we are sim racers turned broadcasters. So we're taking a little bit of time off here to broadcast our racing league, Racing for a Cause, here on Tuesday nights. And we'll be back, you know, in the driver's seat when we can. It'll be interesting to see how it goes. We got a really long season here that's going all the way back into November. We are following the official NASCAR Xfinity Series schedule. So when those guys are off, we're off. So for the next 2 weeks, Chris and I are going to be taking a little bit of vacay. We're going to be doing some video work, working on some other stuff here for the stream. And we'll be back on April 10th, or unless NASCAR wants to change it to like the Fluffer Nutter 150 or whatever. But it's the Bartanica Solutions 150 at Texas Motor Speedway. So I'm looking forward to that. Texas is a really good track.
Yeah, it really is. And I'm not trying to ignore you. I'm trying to figure this out while you're talking. 3 screens, not enough. Ladies and gentlemen, I think I might need to spring for a 4th.
I don't even know if a 4th is going to be enough, Chris. I actually brought down my personal laptop down here to the booth tonight just so I could have a little bit more room. But right now we got Sean Cool still sitting in that first place position in that 24 machine, followed closely by Troy Radford in the 94. Chris Medford moves up to third. KD moves down to 4th in the 88 machine. We got Armando Ortiz in the 25 sitting in 5th right now. AJ Hamill, the Green Mountain Madman, he is on fire right now. He is sitting in 6th place in that 18 machine. As we keep going down a little further here, while Chris is trying to figure that out, we got Bobby Sumners in the 23 sitting in 7th. AJ Rogers moves up to the 8th position. Tim Hale in the 00 passes the 04. Brent Cool to retake 9th place. Brent falls down into the 10th. That rounds out the top 10th. Top 10.
You're doing well. I'm gonna let you keep going for just a second longer. I've almost got this fixed.
That's fine, Chris. I'm just going through the field right now. It seems like most of the drivers have kind of figured out where they want to run, so they're all starting to get nose and tail. I know they definitely want to try to catch that lead pack again. We got the number 20 of Justin McDuff trying to make a move on Greg Willis in the 28 machine to take over 12th position. We'll see how that goes. But followed closely to Mr. McDuff in that 20 machine is the 85 of Peyton Johnson. Trying to do his thing to get up into the top 10. He is sitting in 14th position right now, Chris, as he takes over 13th spot. Mr. McDuff falls back down to 14th. We got Al Smith Jr. in the 96 sitting in 15th. Vernon, he is sitting in 16th in that 55 machine. Eric Teskey moves up to 16. We got some movement, some good racing going on in the back here, Chris. The 20 of Justin McDuff goes on to the outside to see what he can do. These guys are definitely tied on. We're sitting here on lap 18 of 75 right now. Good green flag run. This is exactly what the guys want. We're going to be looking at some green flag pit stops here pretty soon, I'm sure.
Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, we've run 18 laps, a few of them under caution, but still, tires are starting to give away. Times are starting to slow down, and, you know, we got to be careful of those tires. Tires are everything.
Looking at my on-track data, Chris, right now, we've had one caution so far, but that was only for 4 laps. So it gave those tires a little bit of time to really, not that they were really that hot after 3 laps, but, you know, they warmed up a little bit, then they cooled off. So we're going to start looking here. I would think probably within the next 5 laps, maybe.
Sean Cool, your leader. KD in 2nd place. On the outside of him, Troy Radford in the 94. AJ Hamill's worked his way up. He's battling for position underneath the 94 car right now, trying to put him back down to 4th. AJ Hamill on the move. Great battle going on right now for 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th. Hey, we'll throw in 7th too. What the heck? 23 car. Bobby Sumners has worked his way in. Thank you, Draft. Bobby Sumners is right there, and he's battling away. The 94 car got a little tight there. Almost touched the ball, stayed off. 18 car. AJ Hamill credited for 3rd place. He is pushing Troy down. Or, well, I guess he's pushing him up as he is getting around on the bottom side. Rick, you mentioned AJ Hamill's paint job, and I will too. That was a paint job that came to fruition after my son had a diabetic episode. Diabetic, you know, it's called KDA, or DKA, excuse me, diabetic ketoacidosis. So, thank AJ for running that scheme. I know a lot of drivers out there actually do have diabetes or diabetes awareness or something diabetic in their car as a cause, and I again appreciate that from all of the guys here. We are a racing league and we are competitive, but we are a family. We got cars coming down pit road, Rick.
Yep, just kind of like what I said. We're on lap 22 of 75 right now, Chris, and that's exactly what I thought was going to happen. These guys are going to start coming down. Their tires are probably shredded right now. One thing I noticed about this track, Chris, it is very bumpy, and that attests to the age of the track. You know, since 1997, NASCAR has been coming to this track, and I think they might have done one repave in that time. but it is pretty rough out there that I noticed last night during practice. So you know that those tires are bouncing around. These guys probably tired if they have their force feed back up. Right now, AJ Hamill, the Green Mountain Madman, takes over second place in that 18 machine. But like you said, we are cycling through some green flag pit stops, so this is where it's going to get real interesting.
Yeah, the last thing some of these guys want to see right now is a caution. The best thing that could happen to some of these guys right now is a caution. It's really interesting as we start seeing those pit stops making a difference right now. Big shout out to Eric Teskey, up to 7th right now. Really starting further back than I'm really accustomed to seeing Eric, but really making his way up to the top 10. Good job on him. And you had mentioned Phil Otto earlier, being from well, an international consort to the league. Eric Teskey is as well, so I want to go ahead and mention that too. We've got a couple of people out of the country, and for both of them it is tomorrow for us, so huge dedication, and I love it.
That's exactly what I was going to say, Chris. I mean, all of our drivers here at Racing for a Cause are dedicated. But when you look at guys like Eric Teskey and Phil Otto, Phil's over in Australia. So like you said, it's tomorrow. It's early. I don't know exactly what time it is. It might be early morning or mid-morning. But you got Eric Teskey. We talked to him last week as he placed in the top 3. And he was telling us that it was like 3:30 in the morning for him. So that dedication, these guys come in and week out. And they're not only here for just one race a night or a week. You know, they're here all the time, so that's pretty cool to see, and we definitely thank you for that dedication to our family here at Racing for a Cause.
Brent Cool, leader of the last lap, coming down pit road, surrenders the lead to that man right there in the 99 car, Eric Teskey. Eric has yet to make a pit stop. The top 3 drivers, in fact, no pit stop. First car that has, Thomas Quattlebaum Jr. and the 08 car currently running in 4th.
Right now, Chris, I'm watching the 69 of Rick Greenaway make his way around the track. I know he's going to be coming in here shortly here for a pit stop. He's just trying to do what he has to do to, you know, keep going. But right now he is sitting in 5th position. I just want to give a big shout out to Greeny. He's been doing a great job. He's running his VR. I think this is his first actual race in VR, and I'm sure he's having a ball. But his car is nice and clean. You know, we're on lap 26 going on to 27 of 75. So I just want to give a big shout out to Rick.
Yes, indeed. And you see the difference right now. We've got a bunch of cars who've already pit, and they're playing around with the leader, and they are definitely faster, and they're being very patient about trying to get around the leader, knowing that they have fresh tires. The leader does not. I'm going to go ahead and say good driving. Pit stops have got to be happening soon.
He cannot stay out there too much longer with these guys with those fresh tires. So there he goes. He's coming down pit road now for his service of 4 Goodyear tires and Sunoco Racing Fuel.
Looks like Thomas Quattlebaum Jr. is coming down pit road for pit stop number 2. Doug Johnson coming down pit road as well. Rick Greenaway out on track, and he's coming down pit road. So a different cycle of pit stops starting to take place, and that should give Sean Cool the lead again after he gets past the start-finish line. It'll update soon, but Sean Cool right now, your leader in the 24 car. Troy Radford right behind him. Little bit of a gap though, 1 second. Gap right now back to second, 1.033, and that's just been chopped down. 1 second even back to Troy Radford. Troy Radford sniffing out that draft, and I think he might be able to close in on the bumper. After that, though, it's Chris Mefford running in third in the 46 car. KD running in fourth. AJ Hamill in the 18 car running fifth. So top five shook up just a little bit. Well, Rick, we got Sean Cool as the leader. We got Troy Radford second, Chris Mefford third. We've had green flag pit stops. We've been going green for a long time now. I think it's time we crank it up.
I definitely think this is the perfect time to do that, Chris.
You know, Rick, I just never get tired of hearing those engines roar. Man, it's awesome.
Oh, it definitely is, Chris. That's one of my favorite things that we do here. And, you know, they do it kind of a little bit in the real life, but I think, you know, CRN does it better, obviously. But not much has changed, Chris, as we're cranking up there. Right now, Sean Cool in that 24 machine is sitting in first, followed closely by Troy Radford in the 94. Chris Mefford is sitting in third. AJ Hamill in the 18 is fourth. We got KD Osmond sitting in fifth. AJ Rogers in sixth. Armando Ortiz in seventh. Bobby Summers in the 23 car is sitting in eighth. And my screen just did a little thing there. Looks like we have David Roach in the 09 sitting in ninth. Rounding out the top 10 is the 00 of Tim Hale.
Yeah, the only real move right there, AJ Hamill had made his way from fifth to fourth, getting around KD. And that battle's still going, well, actually I was going to say that battle's still going on, but truth be told, AJ Hamill putting the pressure on Chris Mefford right now. AJ Hamill really, really looking for a strong top three tonight, and he is driving like a man possessed out there as he gets around Mefford for third spot.
Now, they don't call him the Green Mountain Madman for nothing. I want to stop for a second, give a big thanks and shout out to all those folks out there in YouTube land that are watching us live here tonight at the Catamount Racing Network. I hope everybody enjoyed their first day of spring. Hopefully your weather was better than what it was in Vermont, but we are on the upswing now.
Yeah, no question about it. And while our weather was cold, a couple of states down south got really beat up by tornadoes, and I was heartbroken to see the amount of damage. If you're in that area, if you were affected at all, God bless you, and I hope everything gets back to as normal as possible as soon as possible.
That's always a terrible thing, Chris. It is that time of year, though, but we also have folks that are not that far away from us. As a matter of fact, about 6 hours south of us down in New York City, they're going to be hammered by this next nor'easter that's coming through, which we are going to be lucky and not get. So hope everybody stays safe there. I know that the schools down in New York City are closed tomorrow. So if there's any fans out there watching from New York City and you have to go to school tomorrow, you get to stay for the whole broadcast. I mean, come on, you can sleep in tomorrow. That's right. You heard it here first at the Catamount Racing Network. Schools are closed down in New York City for tomorrow.
Sean Cool up front. Anything to get out of school, right, Rick? Sean Cool up front. Troy Radford second. AJ Hamill third. AJ Rogers in 17, newcomer to the top 5. Hello, AJ. Welcome to fourth. Armando Ortiz running in fifth. KD, I didn't see what happened. Down to 8th right now, looking to fight back in the 88 car. I got to give updates on the 88. I don't want Linda to be mad at me.
You want to get some updates from the 88, Chris? Let's do this here. Hopefully this doesn't mess them up, and if it does, we'll never do it again, but we're going to have a test.
Don't do it when they're running. I know what you're thinking, but I don't want to do it when they're running.
We might have to talk to them. We'll wait. We'll talk to the drivers in a couple weeks off. Because you're right. I mean, it would be kind of cool to have a driver come up here as they're running. I mean, they do it in real life, but sim racing guys, like me, when I'm racing, Chris, I have everything turned down. There's no chat, no nothing. And the only thing I'm listening to is my music of choice for the night, and I'm trying to get into my zone.
I have
next
zone.
Caution, if we have another caution tonight, we will bring up KD, and we'll see what's going on.
Right on. Well, we're in the passenger seat here, Sean Cool's ride. You see him going around the 38 car. Sean Cool, pretty line, and he is running it well as he has stretched out the lead over Troy Radford to almost 4 seconds. Well, thank you, James. I'm sorry about the terrible, terrible luck in that first caution.
That's right, folks. I want to welcome Mr. James Edwards, the driver in the number 5 car here at Racing for a Cause. Sorry you had a bad night, bud. Right now you're being scored in 35th position. Hopefully you're all right, and you got 2 weeks to get that car fixed back up before we head out to Texas. So I know that's going to be fun.
I'll go ahead and shout out again to the Hershy Design Company. Thank you very much for entrusting your name brand with us here at Catamount Racing Network. We really do appreciate it, and hope that you get the results you're looking for. Just a little bit of advertisement maybe goes a long way.
Oh, you're absolutely right, Chris. I'm so happy and honored that that we got this chance to have them as a series sponsor. Orion's a great guy. I had a really nice long talk with him there last night over Facebook Messenger, and he's a new company. So if you're out there, some people want custom paints, and they don't want to get into GIMP. They don't want to buy Photoshop. They want something that's maybe, they can paint, but they want something a little different. I know that sometimes I like to ask other painters to paint a car for me, myself. So if you're a sim racer out there and you need a paint scheme, go over to Hershy Design. They're right on Facebook. You just search for the Hershy Design Company, and it pops right up. You can't miss it. It's an awesome top hat logo. And just ask him, and his prices are fair. I don't know exactly what they're going to be, but also if you're a startup company, or maybe you're starting a league and you want a logo made, he's the man to go to. He works in graphic design, so he does have real world experience. He's not just somebody who just started this because they wanted to start a company. He also does web graphics for anything, web pages, anything like that. If you're league or somebody's looking for a flyer, I'm sure he could do that up for you. But another cool thing, like I keep saying, t-shirts. This man will design a logo, he'll throw it on a t-shirt for you and ship it out. Good, fair pricing, and his work's excellent. I've looked at a bunch of it there last night. You can follow him on Instagram, where he puts a lot of his work up, and also follow him on Facebook.
And James, I can't say that I disagree with you. Time to get away from the West Coast and bring it back home to the East Coast. And we're going to do that just a couple of weeks after tonight, as we have some time off for Easter. Cannot wait to get back to track. We're still in the middle of a race and I missed it already, Rick.
Yeah, right now we're doing another set of green flag pit stops, Chris. There was one car that I am trying to find that had a really hard time getting into pit road there, and might have spun out a little bit. I'm just going to try to find the right camera angle for me to be able to see what I want to see.
Sean Cool, your leader, coming down pit road right now. Eric Tesk in the 99 car being scored in, well, when he comes across the start finish line right there. That's your leader, Eric Tesk, on a very different pit stop strategy. As you see cars coming out of the pit road, fresh service, fresh tires, fresh fuel. Lap 44 of 75. We're better than halfway done with this one.
Well, Chris, I went back and looked at my replay to find out who was having a hard time getting into their pit stall coming onto pit road. It looked like it was the number 25 of Armando Ortiz. But before we get to that, one thing I do want to note, and I don't know if it's because of my computer, I just refreshed my trading paints, but Armando is actually racing a car that I painted for Andy Lambert. It's the Children's Miracle Network car is back out there. I'm going to have to talk to Armando. Armando, if you need something changed on that car, buddy, you let me know. I have all the files and I can do that up for you. But thank you very much for running for the Children's Miracle Network in that number 25 machine.
And yeah, James, just to let you know, Philip, my son, doing just fine. Definitely back to school, doing all the things he likes to do. Memorized to the, I believe it was the 37th digit of pi for Pi Day, which is something that we didn't have when I went to school. So good on him. He loves numbers and it shows. Thank you very much for the kind words too, James. You know, we love to do this and hopefully every week we get a little bit better. Right now, the man on top, the 99 car, Eric Tesk, has not taken his second pit yet. He's got some faster cars that are coming around. The 00 of Sean Cool, the 17 car, that's AJ Rogers going around him. So that's the difference between old and new tires. As as Eric really has to slow down for those corners or else he'll develop a push right into the wall. Definitely don't want to end a pretty decent run that he's having so far here tonight.
These guys are doing a fantastic job, Chris. You know, one caution so far in this race. Good long green flag runs. They're coming down doing some green flag pit stops, so that's really cool to see. These guys, they know what they got to do. You know, all of our drivers and all of our members at Racing for a Cause they're just great. You know, some tracks might be a little tough, kind of like last week, but that's in the past. And these guys are really putting it on tonight for sure.
And if I'm not mistaken, looking at the timing screen, when we have Eric Tesk converting Margheim come in to pits, I think Tom Quattlebaum will have to come in as well. That'll put Sean Cool in the lead again in the 24, and I am showing AJ Hamill right behind him. So AJ Hamill is going to be in second, it looks like. Troy Radford will be in third once all the pit strategy plays out. Chris Mefford will be in fourth. So they're just waiting for pit stops to happen. And it looks like they're beginning. Tom Quattlebaum Jr. in pits. He's getting service done to his 08 car. Eric Tesk appears to be maybe thinking about going into the pits. His car is definitely getting tight. I just heard him get off the gas for a little bit longer than I was expecting. And that made me stop talking for a second. Eric decides to stay out another lap. My goodness.
I think what they really want to do, Chris, they're trying to stretch that fuel window as long as they possibly can. We're on lap 50 of 75, so we got 25 laps left. And these guys know that they can do 25 laps on a tank of gas, but I think they're just trying to stretch it out just a little bit, maybe hoping that those guys that came in before maybe didn't take gas. Never know. I can tell you one thing. That's one, in not to toot my own horn, but I have to say it. I won my first official race this weekend, last Sunday, in the trucks. And one of the things that did it for me was I didn't take gas when everybody else came in for a pit stop during a caution. I just took 4 new tires, and I knew that I had enough to go the whole length of the race, and that's what saved me right there. So maybe that's kind of what's going through these guys' mind. I mean, these guys are really good racers. They know what they have to do. And, you know, I think they're just trying to stretch it out just enough so that way they don't have to maybe take so much, maybe, you know, get back out on track quicker, and hope maybe those guys in front didn't take the fuel.
Well, certainly all those things are a possibility, and it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out.
And of course, the other thing to think about is these guys are getting points for leading laps. So that's another thing. Looks like Eric Teskey's peeling off right now off the racing service, Chris, going down to get his service done. And I'm sure he's going to be followed closely by Tommy Q.
So things are going to start happening here. The leaderboard is going to change. We're going to wait for it to update. As it does, we are on board the 08 car. Well, not on board, but we're definitely watching him. Thomas Quattlebaum Jr. Welcome back, Tommy. I don't think I've said your name wrong yet, but give me a minute.
Yeah, give it a little bit of time. It looks like Mr. Quattlebaum is going to be coming in for service next time by. And he does. He is peeling off onto the apron now, Chris, to come down to try to reach his pit stall at a halfway decent fashion, and get his 4 new Goodyear tires and possibly some racing fuel. As everything's updated, I think you should talk about what you were talking about earlier at the beginning of the broadcast.
Help me out.
With Mr. Cool. Very cool.
Okay, I must be tired because I'm not there. Go ahead. If you know what I said, please feel free. Go ahead, because
I don't know exactly what you were saying, so I was just trying to give you a hint that now might be a good time.
Sean Cool, driver of the 24, is your leader. Other than that, I don't know. I'd have to go watch the replay.
Well, one thing we haven't had a chance to do because we've had so few cautions here, which puts on some fabulous racing, and this is what the fans want, and this is definitely what the drivers want. But I think I need to get you some gamer subs, bro.
Well, I'll tell you what. After today, maybe, I don't know. So yeah, there is a I know now, obviously, since you just typed it to me. Ladies and gentlemen, it's almost 10 o'clock and the brain, she's starting to shut down. There is going to be an announcement, hopefully this coming Friday, one special race coming out of Racing for a Cause, and we are looking to do that in April. More to come this Friday. We've got a track, we've got a car picked out. The winner will receive the ability to take all contributions in his name to a special cause. We'll say that. That's as far as we're going to go for announcing tonight, but let's just say Racing for a Cause, we're at it again, and can't wait to bring you more information as soon as this Friday. Look for it at Racing for a Cause on Facebook for some more information. I don't want to give too much more than that away right now, Rick. There still might be a couple of changes coming, but definitely something happening, and it could be a real nice event, and potentially some some drivers of yet to be named.
Let's say this, Chris. Number one, it's going to be big. Okay, we've done a charity race before, the Dog Days 250, and that turned out really well. And we had some pretty high-profile people in that race. Chad Dalton with the iRacing Today radio show was there with us, and we had some other people, so that was pretty cool. But yeah, we're going to have a big announcement. And when we say Friday, I think what we should do, because we didn't do it last week because of real-life work schedules, another thing that you guys can see, and all you viewers out there watching, I want to say thank you for coming out here tonight, but we don't only broadcast on Tuesday nights. We do another little special thing on the side. Chris and I actually host what we call a quote-unquote podcast, and I have some big ideas for that too. Chris, we'll talk about in the our off weeks here, but tune in for Across the Infield show number 3. I believe we're going to be having Rick Greenaway, the driver of the number 69 Sim Speed Shop, I believe is his sponsor on that car, Chris. So I'm looking forward to that. But that's another thing that you can find here on the Catamount Racing Network. So Tuesday nights, we're bringing you racing. And sometime during the weekend, we will be bringing Across the Infield, which is a really fun show. We have a good time. We have 2 episodes down there. We missed last week because our special guest had to work. But I think he's going to be free, so that might be a good time to do it too.
Well, let's be honest. The guy's on antibiotics. Don't know really how he's driving. This was the first day back to work for him. I'm sure he's feeling a little under the weather. That 69 car still looking pretty clean. Go get him, Rick Greenaway. Up front, though, Sean Cool, the man on the top. AJ Hamill closing a gap. What once was 3 seconds. Oh, excuse me. I just updated. Oh, boy. I got all kinds of updates happening. I'm going to wait.
Yeah,
as we are
trying to do that too, and I see it bouncing all around, Chris. One thing I want to do is I want to give a big shout out right now to Performance Mustang for subscribing to the channel. We appreciate it. Anybody out there who is watching right now, if you haven't yet, please hit that big red subscribe button down in the bottom. Number one, it's going to help us out, get a little bit of play time here on YouTube, and it does help. We don't ask for money or anything like that. Just hit that subscribe button. It's free. You're going to get notified when we go live, so you can catch either the next racing broadcast, which will be in 2 weeks when we head over to Texas, or when we do the next Across the Infield show. So definitely, if you can do that. And another big thing, down there's 2 buttons. There's a thumbs up and a thumbs down. Hit one of them. Anyone. If you like the broadcast and like what you're seeing here at Catamount Racing Network, give us that thumbs up. If you think it's not the greatest and you think that we should change something, hit that down button. But please do us a favor when you do that. We're not going to yell at you, but leave us a comment and let us know what you think we could do better, because Chris and I, this is something that we enjoy. I mean, we are sim racers at heart. We want to, it's hard for us to sit here and broadcast these races not being in the car with our family, our Racing for a Cause family. But we have a lot of fun doing this. So if we can make it better for you folks, that's going to be a plus for everybody. So if you can, hit that subscribe button, like I said, or give us a thumbs up, and we appreciate it. And I'm sorry, I've had way too much Gamer Subs tonight. If nobody's had Gamer Subs, you got to go to Gamer Subs GG. It's an energy drink, okay? It's a powder formula. It's one little scoop. There's no fillers. There's a bunch of good stuff in it. It tastes great. And you don't need to have the Red Bulls or the Nosses or the Monsters. And, while you're chugging one of those down, you can head over to Hershy Design. There it is right there. Thank you, Chris. Use that code Bomb Squad for 10% off your order. But while you're sipping on your GG, you can have some good fun. Head over to Hershy Designs. Maybe have them work up a logo for you. Throw it on a t-shirt, and then you'll be really cool.
I think you have had a glass too many tonight. I think that's the most I've heard you speak in a broadcast in one go, and, well, ever. Now, I know I don't give you a lot of time, but, hey,
Well, that's why I'm trying to get you to do it over here, so that way I can just mute your mic every now and then. I mean, I'm always pumped up for the broadcast, man. I mean, I love racing. I love my Racing for a Cause family. I love my our new partnership with Hershy Designs. This is just where it's at, man. I mean, we're having fun, we're having a good time, and that's what it's all about, and hopefully we're bringing a smile to some of these people's faces. I know that KD Osmond, grandma's out there, she's watching. I know Troy Radford's parents watch. There's just a bunch of people. I know my dad's out there, he's watching. I'm sure if he's not, he'll have it on the big screen curved 4K TV that he never uses, but it's a beautiful TV. And I know, I go over there and he's watching this little dinky monitor, and it reminds me of Terry. Or is it Terry? No, it was somebody. That's a whole other stream. Never mind. Uses a tablet for gaming. I don't know why. It's like a 22-inch. But I know my dad checks us out every day. When we have a race the next day, he gets up and he throws us up on that big screen TV, Chris, and it looks good.
Well, that's what we try and do. We try and make it look good. Now, you mentioned new subscriber Performance Mustang. I'm going to mention a couple others because we've had a couple tonight. Drive for Diabetes Awareness, Inc., a nonprofit charity. Thank you very much for subscribing. Greg Willis, thank you. Thank you very much for subscribing. And I don't know if we did it last week, but Super Dave subscribed to us last week, and we thank him very much. And of course, we thank all of you for coming out and watching this one with us. We're getting down there, 12 laps to go. Yeah, we'll call it 11 and a half, as Sean Cool really has been dominating this end of it.
He really has, Chris. It seems like my screen is still doing its own thing. I mean, right now, I'm not sure exactly what happened to AJ Hamill. He's down in the 12th. I think it's just that green flag pit stop. He has made 3. There's a couple guys out there that still have made 2, and they're the ones that are running up front right now, like you said. Sean Cool in the 24. We got Eric Teskey on my screen showing in 2nd. Justin McDuff is 3rd. I'm not sure if this is 100% accurate or not, though.
I think you're pretty spot on. There might be a couple of changes from here on out, but green flag stops happened in the middle of all that talking. They're all back out on track now. And the big question of the night will be, did Eric Tesk make the right call? Is he going to be able to stay out? Is Sean Cool staying out for too long without taking a pit stop? There's a bunch going on out there. And we have 9 more laps to get it all situated.
Yeah, it's going to get real interesting here, Chris. I'm looking at the pit score right now. Sean Cool has only made 2. Eric Teskey, 2. Vernon in that 55 machine only did 2. A little further back down into the field, Justin Napier in the 56. We haven't said his name much tonight, Chris. He's sitting in 15th position. He's only had 2. Rick Greenaway in the 69, sitting in 16th, has only taken 2 pit stops. Justin McDuff is another one who's only done 2. Hilton Young, somebody who we haven't talked much about tonight, in that 38 machine sitting in 21st position, has only done 2. So this is where it's going to get really interesting to see what happens. He may have made the right call, though, Chris.
It's very possible.
The question is, can he catch Sean Cool, though? Right now I'm showing a lap of almost 2 seconds, but it is closing.
Yeah, 1.833 right now. Back to Eric Teskey. Can Sean Cool go the distance? Will his tires give up? Will his fuel give up? He's pushing that 24 car to the limit here tonight, trying to take a win.
And I definitely want to apologize for the way that all this is going down, but the program that we use, Chris and I use here for the broadcast, is slow with this many cars on the track. I mean, we were 1 car short of a full field tonight, Chris. 35 cars took the green flag at the start of this thing. And, so it's taking a little bit to update. Right now, we are showing Sean Cool in 1st. Eric Teskey in the 99 is sitting in 2nd. The gap widens big time to 3rd place. Chris Mefford in that 46 machine sitting in 3rd, but he is 32.483 seconds behind 2nd place.
Sean Cool can't make it. Sean Cool in the 24 car coming down pit road hard on the brakes, almost loses it. Going to be interesting to see if he's going to get a black flag for speeding or not. Eric Teskey in the 99 takes over the lead of the race. Eric Tesk seems to maybe have pulled off an upset here with fuel mileage. Lap 69 of 75. Will he make it?
That's going to be the big question tonight, Chris. I mean, I'm not seeing his speeds fall down too much. I mean, going into the corner, he's coming out at about 158 miles per hour. And on the straightaways, he's hitting about 183. So it's kind of interesting to see. It doesn't look like he's really in fuel save mode. He might know something that the others don't.
Yeah, this may be complete. Oh yeah, he is saving fuel. No doubt about it, he is saving fuel. We were on board at the end, and my goodness, it took forever for him to find the gas pedal again.
We have 5 laps left to go, Chris. If he can continue that, he might be able to stretch it out right now. I mean, I'm looking back at second place, which Chris Mefford in the 46 has claimed that spot, followed closely by Troy Radford in third in that 94, but they are 30.349 seconds behind Eric Teskey in that 99 machine. That's another beautiful paint job. Eric Teskey is always out there. He is always supporting the Susan G. Komen cure breast cancer. That man, ever since he's raced with us here at Racing for a Cause, he has had that on his car, Chris. It might have, looked a little different, but it was always the same cause. So that is a fabulous thing to see out there. Right now, he is holding on to that lead, but we'll see if he can make it. We got 5 laps left. And now 4.
4 laps ago, Eric Teskey up front. Troy Radford was able to get around Chris Mefford for second place. Okay, well, I don't know anymore. I'm going to be honest with you. At one point, it's showing Troy Radford in second. Now it's showing Vernon Margheim in second. I believe that's actually the case because I think him and Eric are on the same pit strategy.
That is true, Chris. I just talked to the 55 crew. They have only done 2 pit stops tonight, so I do believe that he is sitting in second place right now. But it keeps moving back and forth, so it's kind of hard to...
Yeah, lots of action happening here, at least on the timing screen. We'll see what's going to end up on the track. 3 laps to go. Eric Teskey, we know one thing for sure. Eric Teskey in the 99 car, definitely your leader right now, and he's doing it on pit strategy.
I think we may have officially broken ATVL.
Yeah,
I have multiple third places. I have multiple fourth places.
Yeah, I'm seeing the same thing.
Well, according to my ticker, which I would trust a little bit more, maybe not, because it's moving the same. Okay. We're going to do this the old-fashioned way. At least I am. Chris is doing the main broadcast there on his screen. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cycle through the cars. And
there you go. 2 laps to go.
2 laps to go. Eric Teskey is in first place right now. And I shouldn't have done this because now it just broke my whole race. So we're just going to have to wait and see what happens. I have a great big Catamount CRN Network Racing instant replay thing going on my screen right now.
Oh, wonderful.
I'm not going to say any names. We do have a member of Racing for a Cause that is working on a new overlay for us. And I'm hoping with this 2 weeks off, if he feels better, we can get that working.
I mean, we're not going to say any names, but you say if he feels better. I say if he's off the medication. But we're not going to say any names. Definitely not the driver of car number 69 on final lap going into turns 3 and 4. Not to be outdone by our own talking, but Eric Teskey is about to win this race, and then we're just gonna have to see how it falls. I'm not even sure at this point. Eric Teskey, 99 car, your winner tonight in the Susan G. Komen pink number 99. Congratulations to Eric Teskey. Very interesting way of doing it, and by that I mean he did it off from fuel strategy. Awesome, just awesome.
Want to give a quick shout out to David Roach. He is a member here at Racing for a Cause. He just subscribed to our channel, Chris. Thank you very much, David. We're glad to have you here, buddy.
David Roach, driver of the 09 car, multitasking as he's out in his car and surfing the internet at the same time. So we're going to let this settle down for a minute. Hopefully it's going to give us the proper results. We're going to pull that up here in just a moment. keep an eye out on that 99 car as he starts getting some congratulatory bumps. One from Peyton Johnson right there.
Well, my multiple numbers have finally stopped, Chris, so a quick rundown. Obviously, Eric Teskey in the number 99, he has won the race. Vernon in the 55 machine is being scored in second on my screen. Tommy Q in that 08 on his welcome back race finishes third. Justin McDuff in the 20 machine is fourth. Bobby Sumners in the 23 is fifth. Chris Mefford in the 46 is sixth. KD Osmond finishes the 88 machine in seventh position. AJ Hamill, the Green Mountain Madman, he has finished eighth. Troy Radford in the 94 has finished ninth. And Armando Ortiz is rounding out the top 10.
Yeah, and then we got David Roach in the 09, Sean Cool, who literally dominated this race. Sean Cool had to come in and take a pit stop, and a lot of cars didn't. And it looks like by the position he's in, he may have gotten busted for that pit road entry. AJ Rogers coming home 13th. Al Smith Jr., again, a name we didn't say too much tonight, but Al Smith Jr. coming home 14th in the 96 car. Timothy Hale in the 00 15th. Jerry West in the 86 comes home 16th. Brett Cool in his first race ever here at Racing for a Cause, and he picks a night that we go with the Hershy Design Company. Brent comes home 17th in the 04. Aaron Tolhurst in the 18th position. Peyton Johnson 19th. Doug Wysocki 20th. 21st, Gregory Willis. You want to take it, bud? Go ahead. 22nd.
No, go ahead. No.
Okay, here we go. Okay, 22nd, John Johnson. 23rd, Andy Lambert. Ryan Wilson, 24th. Hilton Young, 25th. Rick Greenaway, driver of the 69 car, 26. Justin Napier, 27th. James McIntyre Jr. in the 06 finishes 28th. Phil Otto, the Aussie, comes home 29th tonight. Jeffrey Clifton, 30th. Doug Johnson, CJ Gates, Chris Berg, Greg Myers, and James Edwards. Berg, Myers, and Edwards all kind of wrapped up in that first incident. So that's where they end up finishing. And man, what a race. What a race. And we are getting ready to talk to our top three. Finishing in third place tonight, we've got the returning driver, Tom Quattlebaum Jr. in the 08. Tom, Chris and Rick up in the booth. Do you have a copy?
Yeah, how's it going, guys?
Well, but it's been a while since we've talked. I want to make sure that you understand that not one time tonight did I pronounce your name wrong, give you a completely different name, or anything else of that sort.
Oh, man, it's great to be back. I appreciate that, too.
Well, a couple of things have happened here since you've been away. I understand you've become a father.
Father-to-be. I got one due in June, and so we're preparing the house for that and putting in hardwood floors and stuff like that right now as well. So lots going on at the house, but it's been a nice break to come in here with you guys.
Well, buddy, let me tell you something. You're a father already. You don't even know it yet, but you'll figure it out. After the first one, you'll figure it out. Hey, bud, you come back strong, finishing third place. How did the car feel to you tonight?
These cars here were pretty tight. You got to be real careful not to overdrive the entrance. And really with that first caution, a few of us came down and decided to try to make it a fuel mileage race. So really, because we were all in conserve mode, really that improves the handling a little bit, just because you're not using up the car. You're trying to back off, save gas, stuff like that. So it paid off tonight. I can't, it's good to be back with guys that don't cause cautions every few laps. This is very interesting to be a part of.
Well, we're definitely glad to have you back, brother, and congratulations, as Chris said. Man, that was awesome. I mean, I watched you in practice last night. You actually gave me a few tips, which really actually helped me out. So congratulations on third place, man. It's great to have you back. I'm glad you're back. Is there anybody out there you want to thank?
Oh, yeah, man, there's a ton of people to thank. Every one of you that run this league. There's just some good racing to be had in this league. The sponsor on my car is the Southern Conservation Trust. They conserve about 16,000 acres across the southeast, so that everybody can enjoy some outside time and be sure that we have some green space for the future. Got to thank the Tier 4 boys. They work with me every time I get on, and they've kept up with me in my absence, and we push each other and give a lot of feedback, and we even get to reach out and help other people that's not on the Tier 4 team. So this is just everybody involved. This is good, clean racing, and I encourage everybody to join.
Well, I thank you very much. Again, congratulations on third place tonight. Driver of the 08 car, Tom Quattlebaum Jr., finishing in second tonight. And man, I know we've talked to him before and I feel horrible, but I'm pretty sure it's Vern. Forget it. Vern. Say it. Margheim. See, I knew it and I forgot it, and I won't forget it again. Vern, how you doing tonight, bud? Congratulations on a second place finish.
It was a good run. Started way back in the pack, but saved my tires. Pitted that first run with that first caution and only caution, which was amazing in this race. I got to give it to you guys for everybody putting on a great race on, caution free for the most part. But a few of us pitted on that caution lap 3, and I knew that we can do a run at 25, 24 laps. 24, 25 was the max you could do. So we overshot that the first run, so that way maybe the second run we can land right on 25. It worked out great, but that last run I had to save way too much. I was clutching it, turning off the car halfway through the corner. But this IndianaDiesel.com GTR simulator Chevy Camaro was running good tonight. Even before that first car, or after that first caution, we were plowing through the field, dodging cars left and right, having a blast. And I want to thank you guys for putting on this race.
Oh, well, we're glad to have you here, buddy. I know you've been away for a little bit, but you're back, and it's a fabulous thing, man. We missed you, and it was great to see you, tackle Auto Club. I mean, you did a fabulous job. Obviously, your pit strategy worked, and congratulations. You pretty much said, you thanked a lot of people there. Was there anybody else you want to thank?
I got to tell you, the winner of this race nailed it. Eric, man, I got to tell you, he ran a heck of a race. And a lot of these guys for running a clean race, you don't see that too often at Auto Club. Even though it's such a wide track, these guys ran an excellent race, and I really appreciate it.
Well, we appreciate you. We appreciate the drivers we have. Vern, thank you very much for coming up, visiting with us. Again, congratulations on your second place finish here at Auto Club.
Rick, thank you. Chris, you too. Thank you.
And that leaves us with just one more person to talk to. He is the driver of the 99 car, Eric Teskey. Eric, this is Chris and Rick up in the booth. Do you have a copy?
I got you loud and clear.
Hey, bud. One heck of a great race. Perfect pit strategy. Worked out in your favor. The lack of caution certainly did help you out quite a bit. Take me through your race and tell me what you were thinking.
Well, luckily enough, the first caution just came on the right time. We could pit from there on. I knew we can make it on two more pit stops. Well, just only when the caution didn't come out, and we're just saving fuel from the right from the beginning. And saving tires in the first thing was really hard because there was a lot of traffic. Somehow I just lost several seconds during traffic and not saving and not being careful on my tires. And from the third and second run, it was all fine. Could find my pace. I was more looking at my dashboard than doing anything else because I was more focused on my fuel because I was so marginal. I don't know. It went well, and yeah, I don't know.
Well, it was definitely fun to watch, but I mean, I know that it's I don't know if it's really late, but it's kind of early there for you. But you qualified kind of towards the back there, but you had all the right strategy, man, and you made it up to the front. Last week over at Phoenix, you were in the top 3. So boom, you did it tonight. You join 4 other guys. So you're locked into the chase, brother.
Ooh.
Congratulations. Yeah, exactly.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Is there anybody out there you want to thank, bud?
I just want to thank the Susan Coleman car for us to sponsor today, our Camaro. And I want to thank also, don't forget, I always never forget, Runtime GG, SimTech, SimLab, and Racetrack Cars.
Perfect.
So.
Well, I'm sorry, Eric, if you have more. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No. I don't have anything else.
Well, I was excited because not only did you lock yourself into the chase, but you also locked yourself into another race. Whether you knew it or not, the All-Star race you are now locked into as well. So Racing for a Cause All-Star race, we'll see driver 99 Eric Teskey in that race. Congratulations again, Eric.
Thank you. Appreciate it, and appreciate the stream, guys.
And that's the driver of the 99, your winner tonight here at the Auto Club, Eric Teskey, doing it with really excellent pit strategy. Honestly, is awesome.
Oh, he had a great race, Chris. I mean, like I said, I mean, you know, that just goes to show that just because you have a bad qualifying run, don't put yourself out of that race because anything can happen. And that's the case that happened here. Eric had a fantastic race. He had the right strategy. These guys tonight, I want to thank all the drivers out there, Chris. We had a fabulous, fabulous race. I had fun up here in the broadcast. You know, welcome again to Hershy Design. Definitely, guys, check them out if you need any kind of logo work or a paint scheme or anything like that. And there we have it, bro. We're off for 2 weeks, and I don't know about you, but I think I might head down to Texas a little bit early because it may not be snowing, but it's still cold. So I might just meet you down there.
Yeah, I wouldn't blame you a bit. Linda, Laura, everybody else who took their time out of tonight and came out and watched us take this league and put it on air. We really appreciate it. Thank you very much for coming out. We'll see you in just a couple of weeks, everybody.
Have a great night, all.